I think the green light is it's first for confidence from my teammates and staff. I think they know what I can do, so they are able to put me in positions to be able to shoot. And then it's just the repetitions on the training pitch. I think, a lot of people don't see what professional players do on the training pitch, and that's something I pride myself in when I'm out there. It's one of my strengths, so I'm trying to constantly enhance it as much as I can. So when I do get in those positions, I'm more comfortable in the games. So yeah, those are the two factors I think that play into those long range shots.
Hello, welcome to the United Soccer Lounge. My name is Riley James. Thank you so much for watching our program right here on Goals TV. Today we welcome Conor McGlynn, a key contributor for Westchester Soccer Club, making their way through their expansion season in USL League One. You may know Conor's brother Jack, who is a member of the Houston Dynamo of Major League Soccer and was a member of the United States Gold Cup roster this past summer. But Conor has his own story. Right? He was a part of an inaugural season last year as well, with Rhode Island FC helping them make the final of USL Championship. He shares stories from that, his days in Hartford Athletic, and what makes Westchester such a gem in New York soccer landscape. So all of that, plenty more coming up. If you like this show, thank you again so much for watching it. You can subscribe to us, United Soccer Lounge on Goals.tv, or subscribe to Goals TV on YouTube and never miss an episode of this. Thank you so much. Here's our interview with Conor McGlynn of Westchester Soccer Club. Please welcome to the program a key contributor for a club in their inaugural season in USL League One. Please welcome to the program from Westchester Soccer Club, Conor McGlynn. Conor, thank you so much for making time for us, man. How are you?
No, I'm doing well. I'm doing well, honestly. It's very nice to be here, so can't complain.
Well, I appreciate you making the time, middle of a year. This show is dependent on comms directors and players to be able to do these things, and we certainly appreciate that. Um, a lot to get to today, right? You
Hmm.
spent the last couple of years with expansion teams. Last year you were with Rhode Island. This year you were with
Right.
Westchester. Um, and there's a lot of parallels between the two seasons. Obviously, we haven't finished the USL League One season yet to see the
Hmm.
the result of that. But I want to start with 2025 and what brought you to Westchester. Obviously, you're a
Right.
New York native, but how does it feel to be closer to home and to have yet another project to build from the ground up?
Right. I think for everyone individually, it's kind of what you value. And I think for me, being in Rhode Island last year was unbelievable, but when a team close to home kind of gives you a call, it's very hard to say no. And I was sold right away. I was sold with the project. I know where this club is going, no matter the results. So I was sold right away. The fact that I'm in my home state and I can have my friends and family come to the games, I think is pretty invaluable for me at least.
And you've kind of stayed in that northern part, right? New
Hmm.
York and Connecticut
Yep.
and Rhode Island. So it hasn't been too far away, but to be back in New York's got to be a really cool feeling, like you said.
Exactly. Exactly. Couldn't
Um,
agree more.
so you're, you know, not a natural goal scorer, but you've scored quite a bit of goals. 4 goals this season so far for Westchester as of July 15th. You've had some long range strikes over the course of your career. So I want to talk about that for just a moment because that's the stuff that gets shown on highlights and Sports Center and these long range type of things. When you see an opportunity for this, what goes on in your mind and what gives you the green light to go ahead and take that shot?
I think the green light is it's first for confidence from my teammates and staff. I think they know what I can do, so they are able to put me in positions to be able to shoot. And then it's just the repetitions on the training pitch. I think, a lot of people don't see what professional players do on the training pitch, and that's something I pride myself in when I'm out there. It's one of my strengths, so I'm trying to constantly enhance it as much as I can. So when I do get in those positions, I'm more comfortable in the games. So yeah, those are the two factors I think that play into those long range shots.
Yeah, I mean I've been in those positions, albeit very not to the elite level of competition that you guys in, but on the very low high school levels of Louisiana. I see that shot, I'm taking it no matter what.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
My very rarely mine go in, but you've been such a you've been so good at that over the course of your career from Hartford to Rhode Island and now of course playing for Westchester. something I'm curious about because this happens in real time to a lot of guys, and it's happened to
Hmm.
me kind of in my own career, right? I started very young, and now I'm getting into my mid 20s, and people are asking me questions. How have you seen yourself
Hmm.
transition into a veteran leadership role, a guy who's been there and kind of done that, especially this year with the expansion side and being part of a new team?
I think, well, it first starts when I was a rookie. I had amazing older players take me under their wing, and I think just kind of learning from them. I think now I see we have a pretty young team at Westchester, guys that may need a little bit more guidance than others, and whether I'm playing or not playing, just trying to be first a voice for those guys in the locker room, and just be there for them. Ultimately, this is a lot of firsts for a lot of players, and even being in Rhode Island last year, I have an understanding of that things are going to be difficult. There's things that we don't have a core group yet, but I think just being in a situation where I'm just being able to help a lot of the rookies at least is kind of my goal for this year, as we move into the rest of the year and then even into year two.
So you mentioned it. I want to go from that macro view down to the micro
Okay.
with comparing these last 2 years for you. What you learned in Rhode Island and the expansion process and the growing pains and overcoming those things from an underdog standpoint to reach the final, right? I mean, all the way
Yeah.
to the USL Championship final. What did you learn, and what specifically are you telling them about those growing pains in the middle of a season to help out Westchester and your teammates?
I think we learned, well, at least I took from last year, that if you stay consistent in your training habits and you know that you're doing the right things, eventually results will come. Like there's going to be tweaks, in personnel and lineups and tactics sometimes depending on the game. But at the end of the day, it's a process. You don't want to get too hot too early in the season. And, with Rhode Island last year, we were not hot until middle of the season. And all it took was one game in Louisville to completely change our season.
Right.
And I'm still very much hopeful for that. Even here, like it's still, more than half of the season. Um, Sorry, I suppose I am. More than half of the season to play. All these games are up for grabs. You see in the USL, like anyone can win on any given day, and we have an opportunity Wednesday to do that. So, why not go beat the first place team in the league and kind of propel our season? So that's my belief.
Well, that's kind of funny because I've talked to a lot of people in USL Championship. USL Championship's so different than what you guys play in USL League One, but
Yeah,
League One has its own like challenges when it comes to like you're playing 1 week in Omaha, then you got to go down to South Georgia, then you're
yeah,
going to Antelope Valley in California. It's like
it's
the
crazy.
the
It's
travel is
it's insane.
it's
I
yeah.
I think we got lucky in championship because we had the two conferences, and you very rarely play an out of conference game, so you're usually on the eastern side of the country. But in 1 week, we went from Texas back, another game midweek back, and then California back. So it's like you see things like that. It's you take the points where you can, but it's a very big difference from championship.
And playoffs are so forgiving in that way because there's
Yeah,
there's a lot of teams that get in, right? It's been the
yeah.
argument with like Major League Soccer and USL and all these different things of yeah, all you gotta do is get in the tournament at the end of the year and then it's fair game from there on, which that being a part of a team
Hmm.
that was a lower seed last season.
Exactly.
Before we move on to some other things, I want to talk about Westchester and kind of like that
Okay.
game experience, right? Um Obviously still trying to win the hearts and minds of people in Westchester County. People that are coming out to these games, and obviously, I mean, you're kind of removed from it being on the pitch, but what are some of the things that you've heard from your family coming out to watch these games? The experience and kind of what to look forward to when you show up and to watch you guys play.
I think when they watch us play, they know there's going to be a lot of goals for or against. Like that's just like a funny way of saying that. The games are entertaining. We try and be a very fun team to watch, and then off the field, I think honestly, there's like any club, there's still work to be done to make things entertaining for the fans, and you want people to come back to the games. You want kids to come to the games and almost want to play for the team. So it's things like that where Um, I think we're still working a bit. We do things like, signing autographs after every game, like having a little table. So I think little things like that, I think will make a difference in the long run. But I think in terms of the team, just being a team that's exciting and fun to watch and competitive for year one, I think is our goal.
Those things with engaging the community and talking to folks and signing autographs. Yeah, I've learned through doing this for the last year and a half that that stuff really matters to, these USL communities. This is not major big cities like we see in Major League Soccer or we see around the
Hmm.
world. This is a Portland Hearts of Pine. This is
Oh yeah.
Statesboro, Georgia with South Georgia Tormenta. This is
Hmm.
cities that don't have professional sports. And you guys being far enough removed from New York City, this is
Yeah.
its own thing. So what have you kind of learned about Westchester County and the people that are there that has made this experience worth, wanting? And you're already talking about year two. You're making the motion towards that already. So what's been
Yeah.
worth it about this to want to come back and do it again?
I just think it's a project that people are excited about. I think obviously for year one in any club, you have to work out the kinks. Like even I do compare a lot to last year. Like last year, we were training and playing at Bryant University, something that we maybe didn't expect. But
Yeah.
even in our first home game against New Mexico, absolutely sold it out. It was unbelievable. And this year, we're still working out the kinks. But what can I tell from Westchester County is that it's a very passionate soccer community. There's so many youth teams around. There's FC Westchester, there's Rye Youth Soccer. There's these massive youth organizations that are passionate about soccer, and now it's just about almost getting it all behind the professional team that's playing there. Because at the end of the day, there should be a very nice pathway that players should have, to aspire to, whether they want to go to college or play in a professional team. So I think there's still work to be done on that end, but I think we're moving in the right direction in terms of getting players out into the community, into different towns, and just gauging the interest of the people there. So I think in terms of that, the club has been very good with.
Now, I said it in the close of the show, and we usually record the interview first and the open and the close after, but for transparency reasons, the show really likes to be able to be transparent, and except for the times where we don't like to be transparent. Um, I mentioned that like New York and New Jersey and that general area of New York and all these different surrounding things, they have quite the opportunity. We just had a Club World Cup final in New Jersey.
Hmm.
You guys and the Cosmos are coming back, and all the bit of soccer that's coming to that particular area of the United States with a World Cup final to kind of cap it off
Oh yeah.
next summer, plus promotion relegation coming in 2027. Like it's so many different things, and there's an opportunity. And I talked to Mitch about this earlier in the season. Mitch Berukowitz, the owner of this club. If you've not watched that, go back and find it. But you guys have the opportunity to be like, okay, you can have New York, the Cosmos or whatever. This is Westchester, and that's
Hmm.
such a cool thing, man. To be able to promote a particular community in a particular place that has such value and such a diverse group of people, which I'm sure you've seen in your time there. It's a really great thing. So the project is fantastic. USL
Hmm.
League One was absolutely right in putting a club there, and it's so cool to see you guys have so much success over the course of the season, whether it be on the field, right?
Yeah.
That product is still coming along, but definitely off the field and the impact
Exactly.
and all these different things. It's really cool to see. Um, but I'm sure it's even more fun to be a part of. I want to ask you one more thing. And, I had on Diego Pepe earlier in the season. He plays for
Oh, cool.
Texoma.
Okay.
Yeah, great guy. We talked a lot about that project, right? Because it's a very similar situation to you guys.
Hmm. Right.
Um, and we talked about his brother Ricardo. You also have
Okay.
a brother,
Yeah.
and you and Jack have very American stories, which I think is so great and so interesting. Obviously, he was a participant in the Gold Cup this summer. He
Hmm.
plays in Major League Soccer. That competitive rivalry is that civil rivalry. How was that growing up, and has it continued into your adulthood as you've now are both professional soccer players?
Yeah, I mean, it started with just games in our backyard, just playing 1v1. And obviously, me being 5 years older, I think that's how, he got used to playing against bigger, faster kids, and you can see the way he plays. Like he plays very quick. He's very very smooth with his left foot. So, and that's his game right there. So, and then we were fortunate enough to play against each other in a professional game,
Yeah.
which I think in my career is my proudest moment for sure. And since then, he's gone on to do great things. He went to the Olympics, obviously not the Gold Cup, and yeah. And now today, the competitive aspect has changed a bit. Now we watch each other's games and we more just try and give each other advice on how we can improve. I think that's really important because we're two different players. Like I'm much more defensive minded and
Yeah.
he's very creative. So I think being able to give input on both sides of the game, I think that's what makes our relationship really strong.
Yeah. Those text messages after the games, is it usually positive?
For the most part, for this season, yeah, obviously, I have up games and down games, and the thing is, he's at Houston now, and I think he's playing the best I've maybe seen him.
Yeah.
He's creating a lot of chances for the team, and he's doing what the team needs him to do, and I'm very proud of him, and I'll always be proud of him. But yeah, I think if I do have a bad game, I will hear it from him, and vice versa. So we're honest, but I think it's all to support each other and just make each other better at the end of the day.
Gonna screen record the ESPN Plus thing. Circle like the 59th minute. What are you doing right here?
Yeah, yes, yeah,
No, but that's so cool, man. Like
yeah.
I don't have a brother, but like I all of my friends do, and they talk about that sibling rivalry that they
Hmm.
have, and
Yeah,
they're computer programmers. They're not professional athletes, and that's still continued into
right.
their adulthood. But I can imagine having that growing up. Do you obviously you're the older one, so you talked about how it may have benefited him from being the younger one. From your perspective, what has he given you to help you become a better professional and a better um, player for Westchester?
I think just I've seen his work ethic, and I think I try and mimic that as well. I think when I first signed professionally, I was more of a just, go to training and go home and recover. But the work that he does outside of training is very admirable, and it's something that not a lot of people see. So like even in Philly, for example, he would train if he felt that he didn't get enough touches on the ball or he missed a certain shot, he would go to the field for an extra hour or two, when no one's watching. It's that kind of inspired me to work even harder. So we just kind of try and bounce ideas off each other, and being older, like that's what I kind of took from him is that work ethic.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to see, and obviously it's paying dividends for him with his success in his career. But obviously,
Hmm.
you being a part of this project and being in USL and having sustained success and playing in a league where it's very, very difficult to have continued success. You've bounced between Hartford, Rhode Island, obviously now here in Westchester. I'll ask you one more thing. Cannot thank you
Hmm.
enough for the time. I certainly appreciate you doing this
Oh, for sure.
um,
No, in
from your
class.
from your kitchen. Um,
Yeah.
it's okay. I had on Daniel Bruce from New Mexico, and
Okay. Yeah.
He did it from his kitchen. So you're
Sick.
not alone.
That's it's like yeah, the lighting in this apartment it's not great though. Yeah, I have to come out here.
Well, he was like had full on like training jacket on too, zipped
Oh,
up all
okay,
the way.
okay.
Like it looked like he was about to go walk out for the national anthem.
Okay. That's pretty cool. All right. I like that. All right.
That was a good time. Go back and watch that one too. Shameless
Yeah.
self-promotion in the middle of it. But you've now played quite a bit of time in USL League One,
Mhm.
and I talked to Lyon McKinnon a little bit about this, but the the difference in the league. Obviously, you have some Jägermeister Cup games to be able to compare the
Yeah.
differences between, USL Championship and USL League One directly in the field for 90 minutes, but someone who has been a participant in both leagues, what's the key difference do you see between these two divisions?
I think the players in League One are just so hungry to try and, improve and get to that next level. And I think, a lot of these guys who are in USL Championship can play MLS. And they're game changers. I think these championship sides, like you look at a lot of them, and they have like 4 or 5 players that can, really change a game. And I think maybe that's the difference in terms of the two leagues. I think in League One, it's like if you don't press, if you don't run, if you don't tackle, you know, you'll never win at this league because everyone's just working their hardest to get to that next level. Like I'll take for example, like Rhode Island, like they have my roommate Noah Fuson, JJ Williams, Albert Equa, real game changers. And I think maybe that not a lot of the USL League One teams can first afford or just have on their roster, like have the luxury to have players like that. you know but
Yeah.
yeah, League One, like from what I've noticed, like everyone is just a dog. Like they're just working to improve their team and then hopefully reach that next level. So yeah, I would say
That's
that's
a
the difference.
that's the exact thing I've noticed too is the dog. Like this is a
Yeah,
fight. Like this
it's
is
crazy.
a
Every game, every single game. Like you don't have like in this league, you don't have time on the ball. Like in some games in a championship, it's a little bit more free flowing. Like you can get
yeah.
on the ball and dictate play. But when I get the ball now, it's like there's someone on me like constantly, which is good. That's what you want. You want people in your team and working hard and on the other teams as well. So it's good. I like
Because
it.
because it's not just a fight against the other team, right? It's roster spots as well, like
Absolutely,
competitive,
absolutely,
like within the own 11 and within the 18 and within the whole roster. Like it's you're fighting to keep your place in the 11, which is
exactly. Yeah.
so good. Competition breeds excellence. We've seen that all over. Do you feel like the Jägermeister games help the confidence of USL League One clubs? I mean, I guess you can't speak for all of them, but does it help Westchester?
For us, yes, because we went against, Rhode Island and Hartford. Rhode Island, obviously, are the big dogs, and they're my old team. And then, yeah, we have one more against Detroit, I believe. But it's four very solid teams in the East,
Right.
even though, like, the results won't show. Like, all of those teams, like Pittsburgh will most likely make the playoffs as they do every year. Like, Detroit's a very good team, and Rhode Island, I know, will turn it around. So it's, those are three top teams in the East that are in our group. So, yeah, it does because you can match up against these teams and show, you have the opportunity to show that you can play at that level. So it's just about kind of rising to the occasion on the day. So, I think that's why it's nice to have those games.
Yeah. No, I realized I opened the door there and I have a million more questions, but we're out of time. But I appreciate your time, man. You were a fantastic ambassador for USL League One, a fantastic ambassador for Westchester, and to be able to chat with you and learn a little bit about how this whole project has been working and to understand, kind of the difference, right, between Championship and
Yeah.
League One, because we're going to start seeing a lot more games that matter with the Jägermeister Cup and obviously the mixing of those leagues when we get
Yeah,
to
no,
promotion
yeah.
relegation down the line. So it's a fantastic thing to be able to have you on the show, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. Please stay healthy first and foremost, and hope to see you in the postseason.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you so much to Conor and everyone at Westchester to help make this happen. If you're a fan of soccer in New York, it's an exciting time to be a part of this landscape. You have Westchester making their debut this season, New York Cosmos coming very soon, promotion relegation to USL, and outside of that, just had a Club World Cup final in New Jersey. You're going to have a World Cup final in New Jersey with a lot of games in between. It's a great time to be a fan of soccer in this country, but specifically if you're in New York or New Jersey, it's truly going to be a fantastic next couple of years for you. So thank you so much for watching our show. We wish you the best of luck navigating all of that. But in the meantime, if you'd like to find us on the internet, I'm at Riley James IAC on Instagram and X. The show's Instagram account is at USL on Goals. The parent company is at goals.tv and Instagram at goals_TV on X. And of course, there's many great creators creating content about this game across the world, including the entire catalog of my show is available on www.goals.tv. That'll do it for us. Thank you so much for watching the show. For Conor McGlynn, I'm Riley James, if anyone cares.